Hello and welcome to my channel Malavika's Magic. Today I'll be sharing my views on the branches of ethics. So let us first understand the four branches of ethics. So first is the descriptive ethics, then normative ethics, then metaethics and applied ethics. So I'll be dealing with these four branches in greater detail wherein I will explain to you the terms, and then I will also give an example so that you have a better understanding of these four branches. So let us first start with descriptive ethics. Now, descriptive ethics means the moral beliefs of the people, of what people actually believe. Now, this belief may not be right depending on a particular situation, but nevertheless, it only describes the moral beliefs of people. It only states the moral beliefs of the people, and it does not go further than that in trying to find out whether it is right in a particular situation or not. We can say that whether the actions are acceptable or punishable, that is not taken into account. The beliefs of the person are just stated. So, for example, let us understand this with the help of an example. For the people have the belief that less sugar consumption reduces the risk of diabetes. Now, this belief, is universally accepted in the society. That is, people, tend to reduce the consumption of sugar because they believe that it can reduce the risk of diabetes. Now, this belief may not be right depending upon situation. So there could be some patient who might be suffering from diabetes even after consuming less sugar. So there could be some other reason why the person is suffering from diabetes. So we cannot say that less sugar consumption can only lead to reduce the risk of diabetes. A person might still, test positive for diabetes even if he consumes less sugar. So this is just a belief of the person. So the descriptive ethics will state only this belief and will not go further than that. So it explains the moral beliefs of people. Now let us go to normative ethics. The normative ethics are the principles or the rules that are laid down as to how people ought to behave in a particular situation. So the example that I gave for descriptive ethics, the same example, if I have to put it in normative ethics, I can state it in this manner. So I can say, let us go to the example. I can say that this everyone ought to reduce the consumption of sugar. Now that is something which is right, because sugar is not healthy, and so therefore we have to reduce the consumption of sugar in order to remain healthy. So it is a rule or the principle that is laid down, or that is considered to be, and it is considered to be ethical. It is considered to be right, and so therefore people continue to go by this rule. So it tells how people ought to behave in a particular situation, and it also gives justification as related to punishment. So it actually argues the moral beliefs of the people and says that this is how you ought to behave in a particular situation. So depending upon the situation, you have to change your moral values and beliefs, or you have to change your the beliefs that you already have and try to put in the perspective of what is right and what is wrong. Now let us go to meta ethics. Now, the meta ethics is related to the ability of the person to reflect upon the morality, or the reflect upon the rightness or the wrongness of a particular situation. So this is you tend to question the goodness or rightness or morality itself. So in fact, we can say that it gives the individual the opportunity to reflect, but the individual is only reflecting. The individual is not putting his reflection, into action. He is not implementing, he's not applying his reflection into action. He's only questioning that. So he's just trying to put forward this question, and therefore in a way we can say that the person is thinking about the question of morality, about the question of goodness, about the question of rightness. So let us take an example. So for example, people might question the abortion system, or when a girl goes for abortion, the people might question the very act of abortion. So they might say that abortion is wrong, or people might question the very act of lying. So they might say that lying is morally wrong. But here the person is only disapproving of abortion or disapproving of lying, but is not applying, this particular ethics or this particular value in particular in a situation. So therefore, he's just disapproving of lying. He's reflecting on that and is disapproving. So when we tend to apply whatever we disapprove of or whatever we approve of in a particular situation, then after reflection, then of course we call it as applied ethics. Now the applied ethics is the philosophical examination from a moral standpoint. So when we are applying our ethical values, or when we are applying a moral beliefs of right and wrong, or a moral judgment of right and wrong, then we need to have adequate knowledge of the particular field or the particular aspect, and then only it is possible for us to apply. Because with our application, we are also have to see to it that the people, they are not affected by our application. So the maximum people should agree with whatever we are applying. So it can be related to the field of professional ethics, organization ethics, social ethics, medical ethics, personal ethics, and so on. Let us take any example. For example, if we take the question of disapproving the very act of abortion. So if we are able to apply the disapproval of that act of abortion in a particular situation, then of course we are using our applied ethics. But then when you are applying this, we should be very clear. We should be understand why that person has gone through abortion, what is the reason behind the cause of abortion. And of course we have to see, that it might be morally wrong, but then considering the situation, there was no other option left for that particular person. So therefore, that particular situation will imply that in that case, the abortion was right, or the abortion was appropriate. So that is an example that I can give. And in similar way, in other cases also, in professions, in technology and government, okay, all this applied ethics, when it has to be applied, it has to go see to it that the pros and cons is evaluated, or the positives and the negatives are taken into consideration, and then the entire situation is studied, thoroughly examined, and then of course the ethical values or the ethical judgment can be put into action. So I hope you have understood whatever I'm saying, and I would like to thank you for your patient listening. And I would also like to say that if you have any further questions related to any of the branches of ethics, you can definitely put in the comment section. I will I will definitely reply to your query. And for this, I would like to say that you please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you once again.